we've got two games on Friday night, and we have, to kick us off, Moana and the Crusaders, which, will obviously be a fairly one-sided affair. Moana to blow the Crusaders off the park. Nels, do you want to take us through?
There are plenty of upsets at the moment, so I wouldn't be so sure. Moana have been looking solid in parts. This is back to their A team, mate. So, in terms of Crusaders injury, Joe Moody came off after 10 minutes with an ankle injury. He's actually played, I think, 4 in a row, meaning this would have been his 5th. Anyway, so there was a chance he was going to get a rest. Tamati Williams, he limped off late. And again, he's been playing really, really big minutes for them as well. No one in the returns column except for, not from injury, but the entire team basically for Moana that got rested for last week. But the big question for me is this centre pairing, I guess, for Moana, because they've had a few guys fill in there. They've had a few chopping and changing. Tawala looked really, really good there, given his shot again on the weekend. Henry Taifu's looked good. First, I think we've seen him from the year as well. So do we know what that looks like, Harry? Who partners Almoa?
I mean, it's D'Angelo Loia, isn't it?
We like that.
Well, I just think if you take off every other thing from that whole match, and that is that they literally played their entire B team, they chose not to play any of their top stars. That has to be the logical conclusion. It would surprise me. Like Danny Tuala might be the exception coming back from a little niggle or something like that, just trying to give him game time. But I think that's probably the one question mark. Like, not another player in that team is going to get another run. But Laiulia, I can't even say his name. It's killing me. Sorry, help me out.
Just stick with his first name, D'Angelo, I was saying.
But, D'Angelo, yeah, that's right. He has been very good. So I think there's definitely competition in that jersey.
For sure. I'd be surprised if Danny Tuala doesn't start back there. He seems to be the clearest number 12 choice.
Yes.
And D'Angelo provides that really good cover off the bench because he's actually a 10-12 or fullback. I think he's even played wing for a little bit. So, so apart from the centre pairing, I think you nailed on the head. I think we'll have the entire team essentially swapped back to almost a week ago. So we won't go through the full lineup, but just literally look at a team list from a week ago.
And I'll, in a very mean way, I'll go through the entire lineup for you in about 4 seconds. Eva Amua, Havatava Nawai. Those two blokes themselves are the entire team
of any team version.
Fair play.
Because they are just, and that's not even saying, that's not being mean to the other players, but those two players are just out of this world.
They are about 7 players each.
I do love that during the game on the weekend, they're going, that's why the Moana Pacifica are the number 1 team in post-contact meters. I'm like, no, it's absolutely not. It's Tavanawai.
And Almoa.
And Almoa. Like, it's those two, and they're not in the team. It has nothing to do with anyone else.
Yeah. Oh, how good. Well, this game clearly is going to come down to, I think, to set pace for mine, really. The Crusaders, forgetting last week's game against the Blues, against the Force, they just, delivered that kind of clinical masterclass where they just dismantled the Force at scrum time, got a penalty, kick for touch, and then were scoring at will off lineouts with Brody McAllister bagging himself 3 tries. I expect to see them following that exact same recipe relentlessly against Moana this week. So it's going to be about how can Moana stop that, really. So they've got to show up at scrum time because otherwise they're just going to be pinned back in their own half the entire game, and it's going to be a really tough night. Do you see any difference to the strategies?
I just think they need to get off the line and actually put some pressure on the Crusaders. I don't see how they can possibly compete unless they can slow down the ball and take space away from their electric backline. You never know. Ethan Blackadder might be back this week as well, this week or next, I think. So, there's some more danger there for them as well. But really, this is going to be danger for them. And I think it might blow out. It was 38-21 when they met a few weeks ago. And at that point, I think they were missing, their entire back row and the majority of their back line as well. It was pretty much just Richie Moe and Fanga and Nuku running around in the back line. So, geez, it's going to be absolutely stacked.
Yeah, look, which players get a rest? I mean, the Crusaders come up against the Tars next week, so we'd prefer them to rest all their players then. But I mean, we've got Moody, who we've already touched on, Mo'unga, Havili, Enoa, Fainga, Nuku, all who have played 4 games in a row, meaning this would be their 5th, and they'd be forced to rest next week. For me, like, surely they're giving them a fair few of those blokes a rest.
You'd have to think so. You don't rest all your players each week, but you'd have to rest a couple, right? Like, if we look at the Chiefs last week, they rested 3, left a few out there. I think the Crusaders go a similar route. They'll pick maybe 2 or 3, give them a rest.
No, I think they're all resting, everyone.
You reckon?
Yeah, Joe Moody's not playing. He's got a tweaked ankle. Richie Mo'unga's not going to play. They'll have Fergus Burke at 10. Havili won't play. They'll, the only thing I would say is they've got both Havili and Enoa due a rest. So maybe they won't play both centres down. But Jack Goodhue's obviously going to get start. I wouldn't be surprised if they played Dallas McLeod at 12.
I was going to say
Nuku can't play. So, let's be honest. It's going to be settle down playing this week.
Come on, finally, please.
So, Harry, what's your tip for this one? How's this one going?
I think that the Crusaders are going to win it by probably 28, call it 32 points.
Nels, what do you got?
I haven't looked at the odds like Harry has yet. So
I haven't actually either, but I will.
Look, yeah, I'll give Moana a bit of a boost here, and I'll say Crusaders are going to win this one with their B team by about 20 points.
The line is 25.5 for the record.
And you know exactly where I'm going with this. Harry said 32. I'm saying Crusaders will win this by 33. Absolutely. Get that out live.